Hi, I'm Karissa Jacobs, and you are watching This is Southeastern. Tonight I'm here with pro wrestler legend Jerry the King Lawler. How are you tonight?
Well, now I'm much better now that I get to sit next to a lovely lady like yourself and talk a little bit. I've been kind of rushing around the town this afternoon. I flew into Boston earlier today, and but then I've actually had a chance to go around Canton and take advantage of looking at some of the beautiful Christmas lights, and some of the homes here in this city are just gorgeous. I really had a great time doing that.
So, you've been part of the two most shocking moments in TV history. Recently, you've had a heart attack.
That came as quite a shock to me.
I bet. And that was while you were live on TV on Monday Night Raw. How are you feeling since then, and what memories do you have of that?
Well, you know what? That's a very good question, and the fact that I have absolutely no memories of it, which to me, now that I look back on it, is a very good thing. I had absolutely no warning. No, I wasn't feeling bad. I had just wrestled a match. Me and Randy Orton had wrestled against CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler. After the match, I came over and sat down at the announce table, as I've done 1,000 times, and I thought, it was just commentating as usual. Didn't feel any pain, wasn't fatigued, nothing. And the next thing I knew, I woke up and I was in a hospital in Montreal, and 2 days later, so they said I just kind of keeled over and collapsed, and obviously had a heart attack. And fortunately, because technically I really died. I mean, it was just like bang, cardiac arrest, I'm dead. But fortunately, our company doctor was close at hand. It was where they always are during the matches, and he started performing CPR on me immediately, and did it for, this is like a miraculous. But he's a big, strong guy, and he actually cracked a couple ribs while he was doing it. But he did it for 20 minutes. My heart didn't beat for 20 minutes. Then finally, they shocked me 8 times and got the heart stop beating. But then it's so weird. Once I woke up in the hospital, I mean, it's like it didn't even happen. I mean, I have no memory of it. I haven't felt bad since. I feel great. I feel as good or better than I did beforehand. So it's like, if I didn't know that I had a heart attack, you couldn't convince me that I did. So anyway, so I feel fine. That was the long answer to a short question.
Are you doing anything to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Actually, of course I've gone back to and seen my cardiologist and everything. And the cool thing was and after they looked at my heart, fortunately, it wasn't caused by like a bad diet, a lot of cholesterol, and arteries being clogged up or anything. All my other arteries were clear. It was just, he said it was more a genetic thing. It was just like one little artery that was, got like a little blood clot in it or something. And then once they put a stent in there, he said, you're better than you were before. So I really haven't, I asked him about changing diet. I said, can I still think of gravy as a beverage? And he said, no, that was probably not be good. But anyway, he just said cut down on sodium and cholesterol intake, but other than that, I've not changed anything. I haven't wrestled again yet, but
Are you planning on wrestling again?
I do plan on wrestling again, yeah.
So the other most shocking moment on TV that you've had was with Andy Kaufman, your physical altercation, and today people still are still talking about it and still believe that it was real. Are you surprised by that?
Well, a lot of it was real, in the fact that I really slapped Andy as hard as I've ever slapped anybody. I knocked him right out of his chair on live television. Well, it wasn't live actually, but it was on, of course, on the David Letterman show. And that is it's funny that you mentioned that, because just yesterday I was going through some memorabilia. They're putting together a sort of a Jerry Lawler museum in my hometown of Memphis, and I came across the letter from the radio and television, the National Radio and Television Museum or History or something like that. Anyway, they've still got it in Washington, D.C. as one of the top 100 moments in the history of television. So that's pretty cool when you think about all the things that's gone on television through the years to even be considered in something like that. But the thing with Andy was just, it was kind of groundbreaking at the time. No wrestlers had been able to crack that national publicity barrier that was there. But to get on the David Letterman show, and it all came about because I wrestled Andy in a match down in Memphis and gave him a move called a pile driver, where he went to the hospital and wore a neck brace for about 6 months. But and when I say a lot of that was real, in the fact that Andy and I never sat down and said, hey, let's do this or let's do this. It was just kind of stuff that happened. And Andy was such a great performer but he was an unusual performer in the sense that he enjoyed making people dislike him. So he just, and a lot of people didn't realize that about Andy at the time because he was the lovable character Lotko on the TV show Taxi. But in real life, he was a performance artist, and he just enjoyed, making people despise him. And so that's how this all came about, and we didn't really have to, nothing was planned. It was just kind of all ad-libbed, and the fact that we just kind of played off each other, and it just sort of happened.
So you've been wrestling for 40 to 50 years now.
Hey, wait a minute now. Come on. Don't make me any older than I already am. 42 years.
42 years?
Yeah. But it's a long time, though.
Yeah, it is. Who are your favorite up-and-coming wrestlers that you actually like to watch?
You know what I did to Andy Kaufman? It's nothing compared to what I'm going to do to you. No. Who are my favorite up-and-coming wrestlers to watch? Gosh, we have so many in the WWE. We have such a group of young talent there that's just phenomenal. I still look at a guy like Randy Orton as an up-and-coming young guy, even though Randy's been around for 8 or 10 years. John Cena still, to me, has not reached the heights of what he is going to reach. And he's been in the WWE for like 10 years now. But I still, to me, when somebody's been around 40 years, that's still like a kid. But there's guys like Dolph Ziggler. He's I think going to be amazing. The Miz. Young guy is going to be really good. There's just so many that have a tremendous amount of potential. But the funny thing is, once they get this opportunity, it's always then up to them. It's like a football game. I hand you the ball, you can either run a touchdown or fumble it. So it's once they get handed the ball, which they get the opportunity now to get that national exposure, worldwide exposure, it's going to be up to them to see how far they're able to go with it.
So do you want to play a game?
I guess.
Okay, we're going to play a game called Name Association.
I was hoping for spin the bottle. But go ahead, what now?
So I'm going to say somebody's name, and you're going to tell me the first thing that pops into your head when I say that person's name.
Remember, I had cardiac arrest not long ago, so things don't just pop into my head very fast. They kind of creep into my head.
All right, you can say it when you're ready.
Okay.
All right. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Do I have to say one word, or can I just explain? Oh, okay. No, Hulk Hogan's a good guy. Probably the biggest name ever in wrestling. He helped make wrestling a household word and the phenomenon that it became. And I don't know if there's ever has been or ever will be anything to top Hulkamania. But and what's cool about it is he's remained a pretty good guy over the years, at least to me. A lot of people don't realize this, but when Hulk first started as Terry Bollea, I personally co-signed for his very first car that he ever had. And he and I go back a long way. So anyway, he's a good guy.
Okay, what about The Rock?
The Rock, another good guy. I knew Rock from his humble beginnings. I was wrestling against The Rock's father when Rock would come to the matches, just as little Dwayne Johnson, and his father Rocky Johnson and I had a huge feud down in Memphis around a little bit before the Andy Kaufman time. But Dwayne, I still call him Dwayne. He has really made. You got to give the guy credit, and I do. He has made the most of the opportunity that was given to him. It is sort of like I was talking about those younger guys that are coming along. He was given a great opportunity with all that worldwide exposure, and man, he took the ball and ran with it. He has become, he's become a huge, a mega movie star now, and he's just, he's a true star in every sense of the word.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, coolest guy ever in the WWE to me. He just, he I think embodies what we call in the WWE, and my favorite time there, the Attitude Era. He had such attitude and such a personality that literally, as I said, Hulk Hogan made wrestling a household word, but Stone Cold Steve Austin came along and made wrestling cool. Everybody, when Stone Cold was doing his thing on Monday Night Raw, everybody the next day, that was the water cooler topic in offices around the world, and all the college kids, everybody was talking about the things that Stone Cold Steve Austin did and the attitude that he brought. He was just one of the coolest guys ever, and still is. I mean, he just called me last week asking me, how I was about my heartache. He's down in Mexico, and he said, I'm driving down to Mexico, and I thought about you, King. I thought I'd give you a call. So he's a good guy, cool guy.
So do you have any last words for our viewers?
Don't ever say, do I have any last words? That's bad for me. I just almost had cardiac arrest, but so I don't have any famous last words. But no, I just want to thank you for having me on. It's been great. And I understand that this is just like your second interview that you've done, and you did a terrific job. I mean, I've had Katie Couric interview me and all sorts of people from Inside Edition, and you by far were the most recent.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.